She stood by the kitchen counter, holding her coffee, and paused. Not because she forgot where she put her keys, but because, for just a moment, she couldn't remember her daughter's name. It floated there, on the edge of her tongue, then slipped away. She laughed it off. But inside, something cracked. It wasn't just a name she lost. It was a piece of herself. And in that moment, a question whispered through her mind. If I keep forgetting, do I disappear too? It starts small. You forget a word in the middle of a sentence. You open the fridge and can't remember what you came for. You recognize a face, but not the name. At first, you call it tiredness, a natural part of aging. Everyone forgets things, right? But deep down, it feels different. It's not just memory loss. It's a quiet erosion of who you are. You start to wonder, what happens when the stories I carry begin to fade? There's a fear that grows in silence, not just of forgetting others, but of being forgotten. You feel it when a family member finishes your sentence, when someone corrects you gently, but you hear the worry in their voice. You start avoiding conversations, hiding little slips behind laughter, withdrawing just a little, until the edges of your world begin to blur. It's not the loss of memory that hurts the most. It's the fear of losing meaning. Evelyn was 73 when she first noticed it. She'd always been the memory keeper of the family, the one who remembered birthdays, favorite recipes, the stories behind every photo on the wall. But one afternoon, her granddaughter came to visit, and for a moment, Evelyn couldn't recall her name, not because she didn't love her, but because the name simply vanished. She smiled, pretended she was distracted, but inside, she panicked. That night, she sat by the window and cried, not out of shame, but because she felt herself slipping away. She stopped joining family dinners. She avoided phone calls. She told herself it was just aging, nothing serious. But in her heart, she was afraid. Afraid that the people she loved most would remember her not as the woman who held them together, but as someone who was slowly coming undone. One morning, her daughter found her writing in a notebook. Not a grocery list, not a journal, but letters to each of her children, to her late husband, even to herself. I may not always remember your name, one of them read, but I will always remember what you meant to me. That small act, writing what her heart still knew, became her anchor. She started walking each morning with an old photo in her pocket. She listened to the same song from her wedding day and let the melody bring her back. Evelyn wasn't trying to stop time. She was making sure that what mattered would remain, even if her memory didn't. What Evelyn didn't know at the time was that she was giving her brain exactly what it needed. You see, memory doesn't just live in the brain. It lives in emotion, in repetition, in the meaning we attach to small moments. Studies show that when we combine emotion and memory, our brains hold on to it longer. It's not about memorizing lists. It's about reactivating what matters through feeling. That's why writing letters, revisiting music, and recalling stories during a walk can do more than comfort us. They stimulate brain activity and slow the effects of cognitive decline. And it's not just about the brain. These actions reduce stress, improve mood, and rebuild a sense of purpose, which, in turn, protects your mind. Even light physical activity, like walking while reflecting on a memory, has been shown to improve blood flow to the brain and enhance recall. So when Evelyn picked up her pen, or played her favorite song, or walked with a photo in her pocket, she wasn't just holding on to the past. She was building new neural pathways. She was keeping herself alive in every way that mattered. You don't need a diagnosis to start. You don't need to wait for your memories to fade before you begin holding on to what matters. Because small, intentional habits, done with feeling, can keep your mind alive and your heart open. Here are 4 simple routines that helped Evelyn stay connected to herself, and they just might help you too. 1. Write 1 sentence a day. Not a journal, not a list. Just 1 sentence. To someone you love, even if they're no longer here. Write it on a sticky note, on the back of an old receipt, in the margin of the newspaper. It doesn't have to be poetic. It just has to be real. I thought of you when I smelled cinnamon today. The kitchen feels quiet without your humming. You're not writing to be remembered. You're writing to remember, to call something forward from inside of you and give it a voice. Over time, those small sentences become something bigger, a record of your love, a trail back to yourself. 2. Take a memory walk. Choose a time, morning, afternoon, even dusk, and take a short walk, just 10 or 15 minutes. But don't bring your phone. Bring a memory. As your feet move, bring to mind something simple. That trip to the beach when you forgot the sunscreen. The time you laughed so hard you cried at the dinner table. The look on your grandson's face when he took his first step. Speak it aloud if you like, or whisper it just for you. Let your body and your memory move together. Because movement isn't just good for the heart, it awakens the brain. And when we pair it with stories that matter, we light up parts of ourselves we thought were fading. Some days, you'll forget what to remember. That's okay. Just walk. The memories will come back to you, in steps. 3. Tag your world. Your home is full of things that carry meaning. But when memory softens, those stories can get lost in the quiet. So choose 5 objects, just 5. A photo, a teacup, a scarf, a book, a stone. Place a small tag, label, or note near each one. Tell the story, simple and clear. This is the cup Emily gave me on her first Mother's Day as a mom. This scarf was my husband's, the one he wore on our last trip. When you walk by them, you'll remember more than just the item. You'll remember who you were with, how you felt, and why it mattered. And if someone else walks through your space, they'll know you lived with love. Because you left your story right there, woven into the ordinary. 4. Listen to music that brings you back. Create a playlist. Fill it with songs that remind you who you are. Not just what you like, but what you've lived. Maybe it's the song that played the first time you danced with your spouse, or the lullaby you used to hum when your daughter couldn't sleep, or the gospel hymn your mother sang on Sunday mornings. Let the music find you. Play it while making coffee, folding laundry, or watching the rain. Hum along. Close your eyes. Let your body move, even just a little. Because sometimes, when your memory doesn't know the way, the melody still does. None of these require perfection. They only require presence. And if you'd like a little help getting started, we've gathered some resources in the description, tools and ideas to make this easier, gentler, and yours. We all forget things, names, dates, where we put our glasses. But sometimes, the scariest part is not what we forget, but the fear that we're being forgotten too, that we'll fade quietly, that the pieces of our lives will go unspoken, unnoticed, unheld. But here's the truth. You are more than what you remember. You are the love you've given, the stories you've shared, the warmth you leave behind. And even if your memory slips, even if your words sometimes stumble, the people you've loved will still carry your laughter, your voice, your care. A single note you write, a tag on a photo, a song you hum on a Tuesday morning. It stays. It lingers. It becomes part of how you are remembered. So maybe the goal isn't to hold on to everything. Maybe the goal is to leave something gentle behind every day. Not perfection, just presence. Maybe you won't remember every detail. Maybe names will slip away. But the love you leave, the small notes, the soft songs, the laughter, that will stay. So today, before the sun sets, leave one small piece of yourself behind. A word, a smile, a memory. Because even when memory fades, meaning endures. If this story spoke to you, let us know with a like. If you felt something similar, feel free to share in the comments. And if you'd like to hear more stories like this, consider subscribing. Because we can grow older, wiser, together.